Hi guys, I hope you're doing well, and in this video we're going to be discussing about the positive externalities in consumption. So in the previous video we discussed how basically there is negative externalities, so negative external cost in consumption, and in this video we'll look about the positive externalities in consumption. Now first of all guys, we need to first see the definition of positive externality. What is positive externality? Positive externality, also known as an external benefit, also known as an external benefit, is basically it is a benefit to the third party, right, as a result of actions of consumers, because you're consuming a good or service, right, that's resulting into certain benefits to third parties. And the benefit can be in any form, it can be in various forms, and we look into the examples of how that benefit is. And the person who's receiving the benefit, or the people who are receiving the benefit, it could be one person or many persons, but or the third party who's receiving the benefit, he's not paying for it, right? A third party is not paying for it, but still the third party is just receiving a certain amount of benefit, a certain benefit, because of the actions of consumers. And that is such a wow thing, and that's such a cool thing for society, because the society benefits in this sense, right? And the third party in this sense could include the producers, the government, the economy, the society, and we look into this, right? We look into the examples as well. But this is what positive externality is. So for example, a common example that I usually share with my students is, for example, if you have flu, let's say, and you take a vaccine or a medicine, and then you come to class to teach, then there was a potential risk of you infecting other students. But now, since you have taken the medicine, right? I have taken the medicine, let's say, so I am not going to infect anyone else. So the thing is that because of my vaccination or my medicine, there are hundreds of students in class who will not be infected. So there's an external benefit that they have received because of the fact that I got vaccinated. I paid for the vaccination, I paid for the medicine, but they're also getting a benefit. That's an external benefit. Although they're not party to the transaction. To the transaction means I took the medicine, I took the vaccination, I consumed it, and I paid for it. So the economic activity was done by me and the firm, but they are also benefiting, and then they're not paying for it, right? So yeah, that's what positive externality is all about. I'll give you more examples as well. So guys, remember, when you are consuming, right, and you are receiving a certain benefit, that is your private benefit. And if you have externalities that are positive in consumption, then definitely the social benefit would be more than the private benefit. And that is why I've made the social benefit curve above the private benefit curve. That is indicating the social benefit exceeds the private benefit, and the difference is representing the positive externalities, right? So let's suppose you could give an example that if individuals are consuming, let's say, healthy food, right? Good food, healthy food, उससे क्या होगा, उससे उनकी हेल्थ इंप्रूव होगी, और उनकी हेल्थ इंप्रूव होगी, सो दे वुड बी मोर, लेट्स से, प्रोडक्टिव एट वर्क. देखें, इस तरह सोचना शुरू करें, दे वुड बी मोर प्रोडक्टिव एट वर्क. जब वो प्रोडक्टिव एट वर्क होंगे तो कंपनी को भी फ़ायदा होगा, फर्म को भी फ़ायदा होगा. बट फर्म को क्यों फ़ायदा हो रहा है? बिकॉज आप हेल्दी रख रहे हैं, आपकी हेल्दी लाइफ स्टाइल है, आप अपने आप को फिट रख रहे हैं, राइट? यू ईटिंग हेल्दी फूड. So again, the third party is the firm who is basically benefiting from you being more productive because you're consuming healthy food, right? And you're increasing the profitability for the employer, right? You so yeah, that's, and again, the more the profits for the firms, the more the tax revenues for the government. तो गवर्नमेंट के भी टैक्स रेवेन्यूज़ बढ़ रहे हैं. आप देख रहे हैं कितने एक्सटर्नल बेनिफिट्स हैं. अब जब गवर्नमेंट के टैक्स रेवेन्यूज़ बढ़ेंगे तो गवर्नमेंट कैन एक्चुअली use that tax money to spend back on the economy by providing essential public services, or maybe socially desirable goods like education, healthcare, infrastructure, etc. So that is what external benefit is all about. So if you're saying that certain goods are resulting, so for example, a lot of times the student says that healthcare, being a merit good, results into external benefits of consumption, but they fail to explain it why. So one justification for healthcare resulting into an external benefit could be that, let's say, if you, like I gave the example, if I'm getting vaccinated, so the students are the third party. So a lot of people now, a lot of students will now not get the flu that they could potentially get. So there's a third party benefit involved from the consumption of a particular good that I am consuming and I am paying for it. But they're also getting a potential benefit that's called an external benefit for which they're not paying for. So the problem with this is now how does this result into an externality? This results into an externality because in a free market, individual consumers, they only consider the private benefits in consumption. So they ignore the full social benefits of their action. So the problem is that if they're ignoring the full social benefit of their actions, basically they're kind of ignoring the fact that they should consume more because there is a positive externality. So they're ignoring this fact, and as a result of that, what they're doing is that they're consuming up to a point where the marginal private benefit is equal to the marginal private cost, and that's resulting into an efficient allocation of resource for them and for the free market as well. We're not arguing that, right? But the society wants to consume that the society wants that the consumption of these goods should be more up to the socially optimum. This is the private optimum, right? It's a private optimum, but society wants that it should be up to the socially optimum, right? Because the thing is that they want that the consumption should be by equating the marginal social benefit with the marginal social cost. So there is an underproduction, there's an underconsumption of these goods taking place that have a potential external benefit. So basically, you could see that this is your private optimum, where your margin at this point, your marginal private cost is equal to your marginal private benefit. You could see this is your marginal private benefit, this is your marginal private cost. So this is equal, and then however, the socially optimum level is this point, right? Q star and P star is your socially optimum. This is your social efficiency, where your marginal social cost equals your marginal social benefit, right? And the marginal social benefit is higher than the marginal private benefit, and the difference between these two curves is representing the positive externality on each additional unit that you're consuming, right? So basically, what I am saying is that the fact that you are under consuming these goods is resulting into a welfare loss that is equal to the shaded area in red, and I'm going to come to that basically. तो आप उसमें ये लिख सकते हो कि यार द थिंग इज़ के फ्री मार्केट देखो, क्योंकि एग्जाम में तो डिस्कस क्वेश्चन फ्री मार्केट की एफिशिएंसी पे आएगा ना, तो फिर आपने ये तो बता दिया कि वो प्राइवेट एफिशिएंसी है, वो प्राइवेट ऑप्टिमम है, बिकॉज मार्जिनल प्राइवेट बेनिफिट इक्वेट हो रहा है मार्जिनल प्राइवेट कॉस्ट से, बट द फैक्ट इज़ कि सोशल ऑप्टिमम नहीं है ना. सो आप ये बोलोगे कि यार the result is that resources are allocated at the private equilibrium of P1 Q1 of P1 and Q1, and there's underproduction taking place in the market because Q1 is less than Q star. This is what you will write in the exam. Now what is the end result? एंड में रिजल्ट यही निकल रहा है. एनालिसिस में आप लिखोगे भाई देयर इज अ मिस एलोकेशन ऑफ रिसोर्स. ये जाना चाहिए, वर्ड जाना चाहिए एग्जाम में. यू नीड टू अंडरस्टैंड दिस, ठीक है. एंड देन यू विल राइट दिस एलोकेटिव इनएफिशिएंसी फ्रॉम सोसाइटीज परस्पेक्टिव, where too few resources are allocated to this market than is socially desirable. I'll repeat that because the thing is that why am I saying that too few resources are allocated to this particular market, this free market, than the socially desirable, as compared to the socially desirable level? Because if you see that let's say if you're producing this unit, and because of the production of this unit, let's say this is your marginal social cost that is incurred because of the production of this unit, and this is your this is your marginal social cost, this is your marginal social benefit. You could clearly see that the marginal social benefit is more than the marginal social cost, and this is representing the net this vertical distance is representing your net society's gain, net society's welfare, because the marginal social benefit minus your marginal social cost, since this is positive, it would represent that there's a net society's welfare, net society's gain by the production of more of these goods. So if there's a positive, if there's still a chance to have more and more of this positive net social gain, society's gain or welfare gain, so I mean, as in more should be produced, right? And even at this point, like if you produce more, then the marginal social benefit is more than, at this point, this is your marginal social cost. So it's more than your marginal social cost, so more should be produced, basically. This is what we're arguing, right? But since you're not producing it, so you are giving up on a lot of potential external benefits, and as a result of that, you're basically giving up on a lot of potential welfare gains to society, potential net gains to society, and you're allocating too few resources than is socially desirable. And this is actually generating a welfare loss to society, because you're losing out on on the units that are not produced beyond Q1. Beyond Q1 तो हम प्रोड्यूस ही नहीं कर रहे ना, Q स्टार तक. ये तो प्रोडक्शन, ये तो अंडर प्रोडक्शन है, अंडर कंजम्पशन है, सॉरी, और अंडर प्रोडक्शन भी है इनफैक्ट. बिकॉज द फैक्ट इज़ कि ये जितने भी यूनिट्स आप ना कंज्यूम कर रहे हो, ना प्रोड्यूस कर रहे हो, these units, they would have generated more benefit to society. Really sorry about my writing. More benefit to society than cost to society, right? Cost to society. And that is why I'm saying there's a net society's gain, right? Because society wants that the resource allocation should take place at the point where there is social optimality, where marginal social benefit equals marginal social cost. But the free markets are allocating resources where the private benefit is equal to the private marginal private benefit equals to marginal private cost. And that is why we say that that is why we say that free markets are not efficient from society's perspective. They are resulting into an undesirable outcome. Isn't this against public interest? Yes, it is against public interest. This is what you will argue in your A2 section B essay. Okay, guys, so I hope you understood this video. I'll see you all in the next video. Until then, take care.